Hello, this is Jill Speaks Wisdom. I hope you are following me. I've made a few videos, and the purpose of these videos is helping you break free and get away from people who are narcissistically abusing you, emotionally abusing you. Sometimes it's very difficult to detect, especially in your family of origin, because you kind of grew up with that, so it's what you're used to. Question: do you think your family of origin can ghost you? And I mean ghost you, no contact, and that's it forever? Yes, it can happen. It's happened with me and many others who are the scapegoat of the dysfunctional narcissistic family. We were the ones that were the good people. We tried to go along and get along with our family for many years and decades, and kind of agree with them most of the time just to get along. But if we really think about it, they've been controlling us and manipulating us for many years. You may have siblings that this does not happen to, but it happens to you. So many times you're confused as you're growing up as to why your sibling is getting all the attention and the accolades and everything's okay with them, and you do one thing and you're treated horribly. As you probably have heard, that's called the golden child and the scapegoat dynamic. The narcissistic parent will actually triangulate and make it so the siblings don't have a relationship either. And that's what happened in my case, in other people's cases, where if you go no contact, you will probably go no contact with the whole family unit. How does that even happen? I mean, you probably wonder, how do you get to that point? So if you've experienced decades and decades of abuse from your parents, your siblings, meaning they were just never kind to you, and you always wondered why, because when you met maybe friends or other people, they were good to you, but your own family never was. So these narcissistic relationships start in our family, and many times, unfortunately, what happens is they're familiar to us, and we ended up getting into narcissistic romantic relationships, friendships, and workplaces. So this kind of carries on with us until we recognize the pattern. And it's a tough pattern to recognize. People don't wake up from this sometimes, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So the fact that it sets you up for other relationships that are bad also is difficult, because you're always wondering, why me, what happened, until you actually figure out the dynamic, and that people were just using you. You actually have a great light to you, and they would just, and you were nice and you weren't like them, so they thought they could just use and manipulate, to the day when you say enough is enough and you don't want to do it anymore. So you start setting strong boundaries. You've probably heard therapists talk about boundaries, set boundaries. And some of us, we just sort of went along, like I said, we didn't set boundaries. So once you start setting boundaries with these people, or bringing up something that they did, they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it at all. And when you set boundaries, sometimes what they'll do is go silent on you. And that's another way of abusing you. By going silent, you're wondering, why aren't they calling me? That's their way of saying, don't set boundaries with me, don't treat me like that, or you won't hear from us. So take this as a strong sign of covert abuse. And as these things begin to happen, you're going to start putting two and two together, watching videos like this, doing some reading. I will tell you that all therapists do not get this. Probably 9 out of 10 therapists in 2025 do not understand narcissistic abuse. And if anything, they will continue to gaslight you by saying, oh, well, it's your mother, it's your father, and why don't you just try this or try this? But they don't understand. Potentially they have not dealt with this, or none of their clients have dealt with this. So if anything, they're sending you in backwards in a direction. So if you think you're, in this situation, it's such a difficult thing to go no contact or low contact, I suggest finding a therapist and asking them, do they understand narcissistic abuse by family members, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and really try to, hone in on that. Are they just saying yes? Make them, give you an answer or two, because you're going to need someone like this unless you can do it on your own and break free. But it's good to have either people like us online that you can get support from, or you can try to get a really good therapist. And believe me, it's not something any of us want to do, but on the other side of it, there's peace, self-respect. You can live your truth and freedom without walking on eggshells. And most of all, just start learning to love yourselves, because what happens is we were taught we had to love everybody else and give everything to everybody else, but they manipulated and used that against us. So before pouring into others and pouring into even your family members, pour the love into yourself first. And hopefully, nobody needs this video, but if you find that it does reach you and it does sound like, wow, there is something going on, then hopefully this will help and you'll follow me, and we'll go on this journey together. Thank you so much. Jill Speaks Wisdom, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.